David D'Ambrosio of Point Pleasant, New Jersey. And navigating is Gary Pearson, who is the president of the U.S. Offshore Racing Association. The Rolling Thunder Racing Team, currently running #1 in its class and #1 overall. As we look at the Rolling Thunder race team making its way past the beautiful beaches of Panama City Beach, Florida, we see that David D'Ambrosio is doing a good job at throttle, and Gary Pearson, excellent job navigating the crew. Arnold D'Ambrosio, who is the driver, by the way, is also a board member of U.S. Offshore. You're looking at the Rolling Thunder Racing Team. Okay, we're coming up to Beach Bull. Beach Bull is a 32-foot conquest powered by 3 2.4 Mercury EFI outboards. The owner of the boat is Robert Baker from Marysville, Michigan. The driver today is Tim Baker from Lakeport, Michigan. At the throttle, Jim Baker from Port Huron, Michigan. Now, Beach Bull is sponsored by the Beach Bull newspaper, which is a local newspaper around town here, Panama Beach City. And Beach Bull was founded back in July of 1990, and most people at the time referred to it as the worst newspaper in America. The owners said they couldn't even give it away free, so they started charging for it. Well, that seemed to work, and now Beach Bull is quite a success story. Beach Bull also has a sister publication called National Bull. Now, National Bull is apparently outselling, according to a 285-store convenience chain in the Southeast survey. It's outselling TV Guide and National Enquirer. Apparently, the owners also say that the publication is lies, jokes, gossip, and slander. Well, the Beach Bull race team is certainly no joke today, as they are currently #1 in their class. That's the Beach Bull Racing Team. Some of the other Beach Bull sponsors include Pirate 97.7, Dakotas of Panama, a very popular hotel in the area, and restaurants Cappy's and Cheers. Once again, the Beach Bull Racing Team is #1 in its class. The Beach Bull Racing Team. There's Turbine Express, a 39-foot express catamaran. Now, Turbine Express is sponsored by Marine Turbine Technologies. It has a white hull and a white deck. Now, Marine Turbine Technologies is a supplier of custom-powered turbine boats. The company has built more non-military powered turbine boats than anyone else in the world. Now, as we look at Turbine Express, there's BFI Systems on the outside. BFI Systems is currently running first in its class. BFI Systems. Okay, aboard Turbine Express, we have throttleman Jason Ward from Broussard, Louisiana, and navigator Captain Bill Novick of Lantana, Florida. The owner of Turbine Express is Joe Grabowski of Broussard, Louisiana. Now, the owner of Marine Technologies, Ted McIntyre, says that the possibility of being able to run turbines in offshore is, well, pretty exciting to the company. Matter of fact, they've competed in endurance-type events such as the Mississippi River Race. And he also says that because of the reliability of the engines, he thinks it's conceivable a team could run an entire season on, well, just one set of engines. McIntyre also says that the company is working on a number of projects. They recently completed two 46-foot cigarettes and an 80 and an 84-foot motor yacht. And they're currently finishing a 90-foot sport fish that has a pair of 3,000 horsepower turbines along with two 1,440 horsepower diesels. He says this should prove to be the fastest sport fish in the world. McIntyre also says that they may be competing in the kilos coming up in June, trying to put a package together to break Gentry's record. Once again, as we leave the Turbine Express racing team, we wish the crew, Ted McIntyre, Jason Ward, and Captain Bill Novick, all the best of luck in the 1993 United States offshore racing season. The Turbine Express racing team. There's S13 Extreme DeSantis Chevy. It's a brand new 28-foot skater with two 2.5 Mercury EFI outboards. Aboard Extreme DeSantis Chevy, owner-driver Dan DeSantis of West Bridgewater, Massachusetts. At the throttle, Mark Hilsinger of Methuen, Massachusetts. Now, the crew member is Richard DeSantis, and the crew would like to thank Auto Palace, one of their sponsors. Auto Palace is an automotive superstore. In addition to Auto Palace, the crew would like to thank Extreme Sportswear and DeSantis Chevrolet. Brand new crew, brand new boat in their first race. We wish them the best of luck in this race and the rest of the 1993 season. Extreme DeSantis Chevrolet, currently first in their class. The attitude of this boat looks real fine. Dan DeSantis, the driver, is doing an excellent job, as is throttle man Mark Hilsinger. By the way, the crew would also like to thank another one of their sponsors, Ocean Outboard of Merrick, New York. Extreme DeSantis Chevy Racing Team. Once again, currently #1 in their class. That's Royal Flush running second behind Plum Loco. Royal Flush is a 27-foot Excalibur with a blue hull and white deck, powered by one 550 horsepower Chevy motor and Merc Cruiser outdrive. On board Royal Flush, owner and throttle man Jack G. Paul of Vernon, Florida. The driver is Brian Sterrett from Panama City. This is Brian's first race as a driver in 1993. The crew is fairly new. They started out back in 1992, ran very strong in the World Championships at Cape Coral. The crew of Royal Flush would like to thank Troy Bolsters of Underwater Development Technologies for helping to build the motor. Now, ironically, UDT is running in first place with Plum Loco ahead of Royal Flush. Once again, Royal Flush is running second in its class. It's got to be really exciting for the crew members of Royal Flush to be racing in this Runaway Island Offshore Classic in Panama City Beach, Florida, because these guys are all from this area, Panama City and nearby Vernon, Florida. Once again, currently running second, Royal Flush Racing Team. Currently running first in its class is Plum Loco. Plum Loco is a 24-foot Pantera with a purple hull and deck, powered by one 550-horsepower Chevy motor and Merc Cruiser outdrive. The owner of Plum Loco, Underwater Development Technologies, also from Panama City. The crew, all local guys. The driver is Rusty Johnson from Panama City, throttleman Ron Bolsters, and navigator John Bolsters, all from Panama City. Some of the other sponsors of Plum Loco: Exotic Metals, Holiday on Wheels. Some race history: Plum Loco got first place in the New Smyrna in 1992, third place in the Gold Cup Series of 1992, and third place in the Southeast Division 1992 race. The crew of Plum Loco would like to give special thanks to all of their sponsors, but especially to TV Engines and Mom and Pop's Bolsters for all their patience. Once again, Plum Loco is running first in its class. You're looking at the Plum Loco Racing Team. We hope you're enjoying the Runaway Island Offshore Classic in Panama City Beach, Florida. Happens to be the first race for the U.S. Offshore Racing Association for 1993. As we look at Plum Loco, we see that the boat has a fine attitude, and throttleman Ron Bolsters is doing a fine job, as is navigator John Bolsters and driver Rusty Johnson. Some of the other crew members include Al Flowers, Ken Bolsters, Glenn Hope, and Terry Haas. That's the Plum Loco Racing Team, currently #1 in its class. Currently running second behind DeSantis Chevrolet is the S3 Courageous Cat, a 27-foot Cougar with a white and red hull and deck, powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. On deck, the Courageous Cat owner and throttleman Scott Greer from Sarasota, Florida. Driver is Jim Leno of St. Petersburg. Courageous Cat is sponsored by Hamilton Seafood, Windrift Hotel, and Remax Real Estate. Some race history for Courageous Cat: in 1990, they came in third in the national championships of the APBA. They came in third in 1991 and second in 1992. Some other crew members of Courageous Cat: Mike Warren, Tom Berninger, Dave McFadden, Shanna Stanton, and Lynn Rogers. You're looking at the S3, the Courageous Cat Racing Team. currently running second behind the Santis Chevrolet. We'd like to say that the crew of the Courageous Cat has done an excellent job in getting this boat ready for the race. As we look at Courageous Cat, we see that the boat has a good attitude. And throttle man Scott Greer, driver Jim Leno, doing a fine job. Well, it looks that's it for Bill and Warren Gazelle and the rest of the Great Adventure racing team. Great Adventure has broken down. That means that now in the A class, Plum Loco is in the lead, followed by Royal Plush. In the lead in C class is Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder, a 33-foot Baja Cat, yellow hull and yellow deck, powered by two 520 horsepower engines with Mercruiser outdrives. On board, owner and driver Arnold D'Ambrosia, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. At the throttle, David Ambrosia from Point Pleasant, and navigating U.S. Offshore Racing Association President Gary Pearson. We'd like to mention that the Runaway Island Offshore Classic in Panama City Beach, Florida has been a very successful race. All the volunteers and racing officials have worked really hard on this race to make it go as smoothly as possible for the spectators as well as the crew members and the people